you that can summon up fire without flint or tinder?
I am an enchanter.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Greetings.
Coming up on Baseball Tonight, Jason Stark and I will discuss the red-hot Braves, the red-hot Tigers, and the red-hot Dodgers. We'll empty the notebooks. We have a quiz, the questions, and we'll pick the greatest managers of all time. Next on Baseball Tonight. Baseball Tonight for 30 minutes. Buster Olney is on vacation this week, but as always, I'm joined by my friend Jason Stark. And Jason, the Braves just won 14 games in a row. They're 14.5 games ahead in their division. I picked them to make the playoffs as a wild card. They're running away with the East. What have you seen from them, especially lately, that has led to all of this?
Well, Tim, one of the things I have found most interesting is that this winning streak of theirs coincided with placing Jason Heyward in the leadoff hole. First of all, is he like the biggest leadoff man of all time or what? He's 6'5", 240. He's not a guy you look at and say, wow, he reminds me of Juan Pierre. But the big thing is, in that streak, with him hitting leadoff, he had a .436 on-base percentage, and they averaged nearly 6 runs a game. Before that, their leadoff hitters had an on-base percentage under 300, third worst in the major leagues. And so, Tim, my biggest question about the Braves has always been, when they get to October, are they going to be able to score enough against good pitching? And if Jason Heyward in the leadoff hole makes their lineup work, there's no doubt in my mind this is a team that can win the World Series. What about you?
Well, Jason, as you know, their pitching's been really good lately. Since April the 23rd, Julio Teheran has a 2.38 ERA. He has 10 starts this year of less than 2 runs. He could be their #1 starter in the postseason, and they're a very interesting team right now. And speaking of great pitching, Jason, there's nobody pitching better right now than the Tigers, who have opened up an 8-game lead in the American League Central. What have you seen from their pitching?
Yeah, Tim, I don't think we talk enough about their pitching. We talk about Cabrera and Prince and their lineup, but in that 12-game winning streak, their starting pitchers gave up a total of 14 runs. Think about that, man. Their whole team gave up 21 runs in 12 games. Went 7 straight games allowing 2 runs or fewer. There's only been 5 longer streaks by American League teams in the entire DH era. None of them, by the way, in the last 2 decades. That rotation of theirs, 12 double-figure strikeout games, averaging almost 8.5 punch-outs per 9 innings. That would be the greatest strikeout rate by any American League team in history. So I don't know about you, Tim, but I think that the rotation of the Tigers is the biggest reason to fear them in October.
And I agree, and I talked to one of my Tigers guys yesterday, and he said, look, we can hit more than we are right now. Austin Jackson hasn't had the same year he had last year. Andy Dirks, Alex Avila, and even Prince Fielder has slumped a little lately. It'll be real interesting to see what happens to that team when they get going really offensively. Now, the Tigers have filled our notebooks all year, Jason. It's time to empty our notebooks. You're first.
All right. Well, Tim, I can't tell you how Chase Utley's new contract with the Phillies is going to work out, but I can tell you this. He and his double-play partner, Jimmy Rollins, are about to make history. You know, next year will be their 12th season together in the middle of that Phillies infield. And you know how many double-play combinations in the history of National League have spent that many years together? The correct answer is none. They're going to break a tie with a group that would include Tinker and Evers and Sandberg and Dunston, and the only group that's been together longer, Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker. I saw the Cubs the other day, Tim, and their third base coach, David Bell, said something about their second baseman, Darwin Barney, that got my attention. He said he refuses to make errors. And you know what? He's not kidding. He had a 141-game errorless streak last year, a 71-game errorless streak this year. And I have to ask, how many second basemen have ever done that in back-to-back years? That answer would be none. Tim, believe it or not, my favorite story in the Yankees these days has nothing to do with their third baseman. It's the story of a very rare magic number, 4,000 hits. And don't look now, but ICHIRO is 7 hits away. I know nearly 1,300 of those hits came on the other side of the Pacific, but who cares, man? We've only seen 4,000 hits in history. One by Pete Rose in 1984, the other by Ty Cobb in 27. I don't remember that Ty Cobb hit real well, so I can't wait for this. Finally, you know which American League team was the first to win 70 games this year? I'll give you a hint. It was a team that didn't win 70 at all last year. That team is the Red Sox, and here's how incredible that feat is. Even if you count ties for the first team to reach 70 wins, the last team to do it in the American League was the 45 Senators. And if you want to go teams that did this all by themselves, the last American League team to reach 70 wins first after not winning 70 all year, Babe Ruth's 1926 Yankees.
All right. So you just saw from all the kinds of factoids and tidbits that come out on the Sunday morning baseball tonight, which is the best one. It's the one that I really like to bring for you, because Tim, some who call him Tim, makes this stuff kind of come alive. All right, so video highlights courtesy to ESPN and MLB. All the other original content, the overall concept, copyright to OMSR. All right, welcome to Talk Radio version Gen 3.0. All right, so in part 1, this is the baseline show. If you want to come back and see part 2. Actually, it's in 3 parts. Yeah, there's a lot going on today. It was worth talking about. And you know where you are based on the title. So here we go. If you're part 2 or 3, you understand. All right, so part 1, the Braves' winning streak and their new leadoff man. Maybe they're a big part of it. Heyward, sort of like Heyward from Major League. Yeah, I got to get a clip of that. Tigers pitching red hot. Verlander has a big hand in that. Phillies have the longest tenured double play combo in baseball coming up soon. And Ichiro Suzuki of the Yankees approaching a milestone. It was interesting to hear that he's only going to be the 3rd one. All right, part 2. Well, we got the Pirates' Pedro Alvarez. Maybe the only one that gets them into the postseason. The base running in general, but they're kind of picking on the White Sox, which is ironic. White Sox, and you can't run the bases. Best managers in history, and in the weekend review of what was and what is to be expected with the biogenesis stuff and so forth. ESPN Sports Science on Yasiel Puig, just all part 3, you understand. And the Dodgers pitching best streak since 1953. Yes, I mean, there's and plenty more. I'm just giving you some of the sound bites. Many, many more. Too much to list. All right, just a reminder, the OMSR is a show. It's called the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which covers a fair use standard, minimal use, and derivatives. So basically, it's like you want to borrow somebody else's content, you have to have an amalgamation with your own original content, or you stick strictly to the minimal use. That's why you see a lot of 30-second, 214-minute bit clips run around all over YouTube with no other like association or originality going with it. You just taking stuff from the game and put it up there. Everyone wants to get in on the act, but we actually, you know, give you means and a way, and get involved, easy comments, and just reminding you to be respectful to your fellow tubers and the show. Plus, you get a much longer highlight reel. And this is a sports talk show, after all. Pro bono, though it may be. All right, thanks for watching. No silly DUIs while you're out there. Later days, more signature plays.